We move on to an equally enlightening speaker. I'm sure all of us once in our lifetime has watched her videos. Extremely inspiring, Vandhana Shivaji. Srimati Vandhana Shiva is an indigenous environmentalist, our next speaker, founder of Navadanya, which aims to protect the diversity and integrity of living resources, especially the native seed, and to promote organic farming and fair trade. She has been called an environmental hero and one of the 7 most powerful feminists of 2010 by Forbes. Over to you, ma'am, Srimati Vandana Shivaji, to kindly address the audience.
Thank you very much. Thank you to the amazing women who've thought of this. And Maya, lovely to hear you again. Um, you've touched on so many of the issues that I have grown into as a result of spending the last 35 years of my life trying to figure out what has gone wrong with agriculture. And my journey began because I'd done my MSc honors in physics, and that's what led me in particle physics, that led me to the study of quantum theory. But 84, Punjab, where I had done my MSc, erupted in violence. And that same year in the city of Bhopal, the pesticide plant owned by Union Carbide leaked and killed thousands of people. And I said to myself, what is wrong with agriculture? I was working there for the United Nations University, and I said, I want to study this. Something's wrong. And out of this came this book, The Violence of the Green Revolution. And I learned then that this agriculture hadn't come from the earth. It had come from Hitler's concentration camps. It had come from chemicals designed to kill people. And that day I took a pledge to cultivate nonviolent farming, to take care of the earth, and to not do harm. This journey since then also enabled me to start saving seeds, started Navdanya, and I realize, my scientific journey fascinatingly totally converges with our ancient wisdom that you have shared, Maya. My ecological teaching teaches me that the cycles of life, the ecological cycles, are nutrition cycles. And that's what the Taittiriya Upanishad is telling us, that everything is food, everything is something else is food. And therefore you can't break out of this cycle without severe consequences. The attempt to break out of this cycle was using the chemicals and the processes that made ammunitions for Hitler, to use them to now make nitrogen fertilizers. 1 kilo of nitrogen fertilizers, 2 liters of diesel, emits nitrous oxide, a very big greenhouse gas, destroys the soil. Our work has shown that while organic farming increases soil nitrogen content by 100%, and this is our studies in Doon Valley, in the soils where chemical new nitrogen fertilizers applied, nitrogen has been reduced by 22%. And it is not just nitrogen that soils lose, they lose all other micronutrients and trace elements. And these micronutrients and trace elements is what makes food. We are now very, very scarce in zinc. We've got zinc deficiency. Everyone is talking about the oxidative stress as part of the Corona epidemic. Well, if you don't have zinc in your soil and your plants don't have zinc, your body doesn't have zinc, all kinds of chronic diseases are going to emerge. I did a reflection on the Corona epidemic, and it was really a very beginning, and I was rushing back home to not be trapped in a lockdown somewhere else. And I was thinking of how did this come to be? 300 new infectious diseases created because we've allowed an illusionary system of profit making to be counted as a food system. I have had to do satyagrahas to defend our sarson when GMO soya oil was being dumped on us and our sarson and our ghanis were made illegal. That was in 98. Why is the Amazon burning to grow GMO soya? Why is Argentina an epicenter of cancer? GMO Roundup soya. We aren't supposed to eat these chemicals. We now know Roundup has the capacity to destroy the shikimate pathway in our gut. And that's what's leading to all kinds of diseases, including cancer. Chronic diseases have increased the mortality because of COVID by tenfold. 1 million people are dying of India for diabetes. You know, when I was growing up, no one had diabetes. A few exceptional people. We are now the epicenter, 72 million people. And 1 million are dying annually. 1 million because of diabetes. And then if you see the reports of who died and complications because of diabetes and a heart problem and another problem. So people aren't dying of an infection. They're dying of what the violence done to our bodies. And as a quantum physicist, I realized this Cartesian idea of a particle has one effect, according to Newton's laws of motion, is a very false way of dealing with complex systems of life, with plants, with soil, with our bodies. And this complexity Ayurveda understood. This complexity new sciences like quantum theory understand. And I talk about it as systems causation. Every day Ayurveda is trashed for saying, but where's the evidence-based science where they want one molecule to show the impact on another molecule? But Ayurveda works on the balance of the whole body, in balance with the whole earth. In these many years of, you know, for me, agriculture is really nothing but serving the earth. Saving seeds is nothing but serving the earth. We started to save seeds because I did not accept the illusion and idea that seeds are the invention of Monsanto, that they're machines they've invented in their labs. I said, what a lie. I said, seeds are evolutionary memory and evolutionary potential. Seeds make themselves. So I fought against patenting, and we stopped the patenting of seed in this country by law, Article 3J of the Patent Act. We stopped the piracy of our knowledge of the neem, of the basmati, of the wheat. And now there's an attempt about which I've written, and on Monday, as part of my Biodiversity Day message, I'm going to be posting, and I'll send it to you, a new attempt at biopiracy of our sacred bodies, our autonomous, living, conscious intelligence bodies as data miners for mining data to then sell that data back to us as a new value of who we are. So we are at a threshold in this crisis at totally redefining the world. We could redefine it in ways that takes the Vena's path deeper of total destruction of the earth, destruction of society, or allows the earth to replenish and address the 3 mega problems we face. The problem that farmers can't make a living, even though agriculture was considered the highest vocation in our culture. Service of the earth was considered the higher vocation. My mother chose to be a farmer when she became a refugee after the partition. The second crisis is the crisis of hunger. We are losing nearly 10 lakh children every year because of malnutrition. We are 102nd among 117 countries on the hunger index. 190 million Indians are hungry. And with this crisis and the entire displacement of workers, we don't know what that number will become. And then there's a third pandemic. And that pandemic is chronic disease pandemic. So infectious diseases come and go. But if we continue a junk food system, chronic diseases will continue to inflate. Our work in Navdanya has shown that by protecting our native seeds, we actually grow more nutrition because our seeds for nourishment, they were in harmony with the earth. And I'll just show you some graphs of how much more nutrition we grow. All micronutrients and trace elements are higher in the biodiverse ecological farms where we use native seeds. The figures are so clear. There's 106% more copper, 61% more manganese, 243% more molybdenum, 64% more zinc, 120% more chromium. And not just that, we could meet the nourishment needs of 2 times India's population. If we give up the chemical agriculture of the Green Revolution, the economic model based on greed of globalization and trade and profits first, and substituting real food with fake ingredients, whether it be fake ingredients like high fructose corn syrup, or, as was mentioned by Maya, the new idea of cellular production. I've done a critique of this lab food and fake food because of its violation with the human body as a sacred, complex body, whose work is to grow nourishing food. As the Taittiriya Upanishad says, the highest dharma is to grow and give good food, and the highest adharma is to not grow food or give bad food. Now, we have created a food economy that is an adharmic economy. It's an anti-ecological economy. I have called it the war against the earth. My research has shown it's 50% of the greenhouse gases responsible for climate change. It's responsible for 75% of land degradation, 75% of water destruction, 93% destruction of biodiversity and living species, and of course, a very big contributor to ill health. We have the means to regenerate the earth, and it's our duty. But in the process, Mother Earth gives us so much more food. But we have to stop seeing food as weighed, as a commodity. We've stopped seeing food as a raw material. The image that's being created, because this is my field of research, and we did a report last year called Future of Food, that the future will be food like Impossible Burger. And people who have created this fake food, a fake meat using GM soya bean, says ordinary food, real food that Mother Earth gives us is an unimproved technology, waiting for making profits. And the biggest investments from Silicon Valley, sadly, are taking place in bad food. And Maya, you could send a message to friends you might have in Silicon Valley. Please don't do this adharmic act. It's a sin against Mother Earth. It's sin against future generations, because that cellular production does not respect the complex rhythms of the earth and the complex rhythms of our body. But second, my dear friends Bayer and Monsanto are saying we are perfectly matched to supply the needs of this lab food, because we grow food in monocultures. And in our monocultures, instead of growing food now, in any case, most of the soya bean that was growing, 90% was going for biofuel and animal feed. Only 10% was going as food. Now they're saying the place to make profit is to dismember the food and get the carbohydrates and the proteins and then sell it to the labs. The understanding of the sacredness of food, of Annam Brahman, the sacredness of growing food and taking care of the earth, the sacredness of eating, this only our civilization has been gifted this scientific knowledge, gifted these practices. I want to show you a book that has been a very important book. It's called the Agricultural Testament. This is 1905 when the British wanted to improve agriculture. They sent Albert Howard. He came here and said, I cannot improve this agriculture. I will make the Indian peasants my professor. This book is a testimony of how we did agriculture on 2 laws. Law of biodiversity, do not destroy the diversity of the earth, and the law of return, give back in gratitude. And either of these laws is violated, either by monocultures or by not returning and just taking. Mining, extracting, we become robbers of the soil. That is what Tagore said. It was a big robbery of the soil that was taking place. But robbery of the soil is theft from Mother Earth. And there is no way we can keep stealing from Mother Earth and have a future. We are at a very, very special moment. I think the soft power of the amazing women who've gathered here, I think our learnings, I find it a bit schizophrenic that we say words out of our tradition, but then we adopt the worst of the greed economy and the narrow-minded knowledge, ignorance. I won't call it knowledge because it's not science. So let us bring sanity around food for India, for the world. And I know with the service I've done, there's a whole book we've done on my 35 years of work. It's called Biodiversity, Agroecology, Regenerative Agriculture. We can make sure all biodiversity regenerates, all soils become healthy, we can reverse climate change, no child needs to go hungry, all of those unnecessary cancers we don't need. Let's build a healthy planet, healthy society, healthy people, and all this creates freedom. I do not think we will have freedom if we do not have a freedom of the mind and freedom to be healthy bodies and freedom to know what's bad food, what's good food. Thank you.
Thank you, Vandana ji, for an incredibly articulate viewpoint. All the same, I'm appalled to know where the world is heading to. But I'm also very happy. The silver lining that I see in this is while you were speaking today, it's very tough unless we watch your YouTube videos. It's very tough to have you live like this. And all my 460 agriculture students today are viewing while you speak. And my faculties of agriculture are viewing from the university as you speak. And I'm extremely happy that at this juncture, they could hear you live like this and understand how important their role becomes as agriculturists and as plant doctors. Thank you very much. A personal thanks.
Rupa, can I just mention one little thing?
Yes, please.
Out of this has grown a Beej Vidyapeeth. I call it the School of the Seed, learning from the seed, and
Yes.
an Earth University, where we offer courses. And I hope your university will come. And even if they don't, let's find a way to spread this knowledge.
I will be most happy to see where we can work together and collaborate. And thank you so much. It's an honor to even have heard you like this and got an offer from you like this for a collaboration. Thank you very much.